Good afternoon, West Creek Stampers. This is Kay. This is Friday, September 16th. And I'm here to show you how to put together your kits. If you got the card kit for this month, and show you the cards. I will be doing a PDF and sending out by email, but that is not completed yet. Elaine Sampson won the door prize for this month, so congratulations to Elaine. And these are the 3 cards that we made. We're going to start with this one using the gnome paper. And first of all, I want to show you what is in that gnome pack of paper. I do not have the gnome stamp set, but I can make some nice cards without the gnome stamp set. Not that I don't want to sell that to you if you want it, but I just want to show you what's in here and what you can cut out. There's these mushrooms, the gnomes, of course, these trees, and both sides of this paper is just gorgeous. There's those cute little scenes with deer and the gnome, Santa gnome. Here is another one, and I just think this paper is gorgeous. If you don't want to use the gnome side, you can use the snowflake side. You can cut it out or cut a square. This is trees on the back of this one, but I did want to show you what that paper is like. And we used this sheet. There are 2 sheets of each print in the pack. We used this sheet and cut out the gnomes that are on there. We also used the back of 2 of them for the snowflakes, and that's where the snowflakes come from on it. This trees one, and I hated to cut up those trees because I think that is so pretty, but we also used this page of snowflakes. So I did want to show you that paper. That is called Storybook Gnomes, in case you're interested, and it's $12 for a package. So let's get on with showing you how I did this card and what I used for it. I actually pulled this Merry Christmas from last year's stamp set, Curvy Christmas, the Merry Christmas there. I'm sure you can find one that is about that size, because and a lot of times they do come in a paper pumpkin kit. The snowflake stamp here I used from the Christmas lights. That is a current stamp set. And then for the inside, I used this wishing you lots of love, joy, and happiness this Christmas season and always, from Sweet Candy Canes. I used Pacific Point and Balmy Blue ink. So our base is Pacific Point. My pieces are kind of sticking together here. So we're going to fold that base. And let's just do the inside first and get that out of the way. We're going to stamp our words on the inside, and there's a lot of different words that you could stamp on the inside if you're not crazy about this particular saying. So I used Pacific Point for that. I'm going to set that aside because we're going to use that in a little bit. And then I took the snowflakes that we used on the front and just stamped them here. Some of the ladies who like to do their envelopes use the snowflake on their envelope as well. Now, I know I brought adhesive over here because every pack I picked up was just about empty, and it looks like I must have had a boo-boo on the back of this, and that's and a point. Always stamp your inside before you fasten it in, because if you make a boo-boo, you can flip it. On this one, the letters didn't quite all come out. So I used the back side. And I see I'm getting off camera a little bit there. There's a lot to think about when you're doing one of these videos. Okay, then we're going to stamp our front. And I used the Merry Christmas on there. And I stamped that on first. And then I can stamp my snowflakes kind of around it. And that is, again, in Pacific Point. I'll put that back, and we're going to close that stamp pad because we're done with it, but we'll clean that later. And then I'm using Balmy Blue for this snowflake, and that's kind of how I did mine. It's a random thing, so you can put your snowflakes wherever you like. And that is Balmy Blue, and that's all the stamping there is to this card. So then we're going to put that on a background of Balmy Blue, and that goes right in the middle of our card, but we're going to do the outside portion first. And I am not quite straight, but I am not going to worry too much about it. Now, somebody showed me a trick about doing this, and I did have one person who did the mushrooms out, and it looked really cute. So you have 2 long pieces and 2 short pieces. Start with your long pieces on the outside. And I cannot remember for the life of me what people are calling this. It's kind of like a frame. It's a good way to use up scraps. But if you put those long pieces on first on the outside, I think Diane Weiser had that idea for how to get those on there the way they need to be. And we're letting a little bit of Pacific Point show through. And then our Balmy Blue piece goes right in the middle. Now, I see that I'm missing my gnome, but I have the paper right here, and I'm not going to take the time to show you, have you watch me fussy cut this, but I just cut around each one of these big, and then you need to do the work of cutting it out. And I usually, when I cut out, I'll show you a little bit how I start. If you move the paper instead of the scissors it does seem to keep you from getting those pointed edges. And I like to leave a little white outline on the outside of mine. And whoops, I got a little close there, but who is going to sit and critique my cutting? Not me. Because I know the person who gets this card is just going to be happy when they see it. So we're going to put dimensionals on this little gnome and pop him up. And wouldn't you be happy to get a card like this in the mail? I know I would. And so then we're taking one of our rhinestones and putting on whichever snowflake you want. So that is card number 1. Card number 2, I made using the paper from the Rings of Love pack. That was one of the celebration packs. And I just thought this paper was so pretty. You can't get it anymore. I try not to use paper in my cards that you can't get anymore, but this paper is gorgeous, and wouldn't that make a beautiful fall card? So if you got this paper, you need to open it up and start using it. The house is pretty. This could actually go along with your gnomes. And then you have the tree trunk, and then this one is a Christmassy one. So I will tell you that's where that paper came from. You can't get it anymore. So you would either have gotten the birds or the flower print. Just make sure when you put that together that you have the right side up. So I'm going to show you how I put that card together. And I use soft seafoam for my base and folded it. And I did not give you a white inside for this one because it's a light color, and I think you can put something in there and it'll be very legible. So the next piece I have is Evening Evergreen, and I ran that through this embossing folder, Timber 3D embossing folder. And so with doing this class, I was able to run several of them through at one time, getting that ready for you all so you didn't have to worry about doing that. And that can be, this one's kind of centered. You can have it a little on the high side if you want. This is the paper from that gorgeous paper. And so we're just making a layer here. And like I said, you would either get the birds or the flowers. I thought they were equally pretty. And we're going to pop this up. I think I might have seen this, might have been a card of Jenny Breckbill's. I can't quite remember. I did borrow this idea. I'm going to say borrow because maybe sometime that person will be able to use one of my ideas. Or one that I have tweaked. A lot of times I tweak them a bit. They're not exactly like the person that I borrowed them from. And there we go. Okay, so we're using these little hearts on it. And I had a couple here for the ones who were attended. This heart is actually cut from the dies. Let me think. It was a celebration. The hippo dies. They had so many cute little dies. Okay, I am getting off course here with this camera, and I can't get my camera any closer to the table, so I hope that you can see well enough. So I did thinking of you on this one so that you could use this for a variety, and stamped it in black. I cut this out with the rectangle die, and I'm not going to take the time. Well, maybe I will real quick so you can see how to do the rest of it. But I did get that from the Go-To Greetings. That's where that thinking of you came from. I'm going to cut this out real quick. Okay, and I love these Go-To Greetings. I like the font, but I also like that it comes in several different sizes. So I took the punch, this is the bow punch, and punched out a couple of the larger branches. And I put that down without thinking, but I did. Usually on the original one, I wrapped the twine around, but I put that on too quick, and then I didn't get that done. So what I do is usually use the Tombow glue so I have a little wiggle room. And I put these on the back of my tag. Oops. And then if you need to trim anything down, you can. If I use the Tombow glue, I have some wiggle room. I have a little bit of wiggle room here, but not as much. Okay, and so I put that down flat. You can pop it up if you'd like, but I don't want to get too thick of layers. And for this heart, having trouble picking it up because I don't have fingernails. So for September, Stampin' Up! Is doing the weekly deals, and I'm trying to get those out to you at the beginning of each week. It's not falling on a certain weekday, it's falling on a date. So just watch my emails, I'll send those out to you. And there we go. The string is the twine. This is the linen thread that I use here. And I'm just going to make a bow here and put on that tag, or maybe under where that heart is. So the kits are all done. I think most of you have gotten them, and because I'm on camera, I'm having trouble with this bow. And Linda Brown, I put yours in the mail today. So I think I'm going to put that right there. And off we go. All right. And there we go. So that is the second card. I used a glue dot for that. And our third card then is the ladybug made into a bumblebee. And I really like how these turn out. I did get this idea from someone else. I don't remember exactly who, but I use So Saffron on this card base. I haven't done that for a while. And then this card base, the one side is a little short. I think it's by an inch. And then you have a little bit of a fun fold there with the layers. So this is your card base. And for the inside on this one, this is more of a layer card. For the inside on this one, I gave you black and white. Now, hopefully, the ones who got kits, your whites are cut correctly. I did find a few yesterday when we were doing class that were not quite cut quite small enough. So more than likely, if it lines up with this black, then it needs about 1/4 inch taken off of the side and of the top or the bottom. Okay, so that's your inside. And your front panel right here is layered with black also. And I got some adhesive on my paper here that's hopefully not going to give me too much trouble. Okay, so we're going to put that one here. Now, you got black and white here. Oops. But everybody may not have gotten the exact same. So there we go. Okay, and so then our next layer has this beautiful, beautiful hive embossed piece on it. And this embossing folder is called Hive 3D embossing folder. When you're applying an embossing folder, be careful with your adhesive. I usually use the glue because sometimes the tape just doesn't grab and hold like you want it to. So that's all that goes on the front of there. Okay, so I'm having trouble with pieces missing. This is the glittered organdy black ribbon. I do not remember if it is still in a catalog or not, so I'm not going to make any promises about that. Okay, so I like to use Scotch tape in the back. We're going to use the Stamp and Seal, which will hold well also. And let's see, I think we can put this on before we do everything else. When you go to put this on, make sure you're only putting adhesive on one side, the side that you want to go over on the flap. And I got those all off, so we're gonna go here, and then you have to, if you use seal on the back, you have to be careful because it will hold your card down. Using the Scotch tape is not going to affect your card on the bottom, but if I left that on there, then it might stick tight there, and I don't want that. Okay, so we have that done. For the bow, I think I put the bow maker away. We had the bow maker out for this one, and this ribbon is almost like a little starched. It feels like it's stiff and starched. I mean, you can make a nice bow with it, but just, it's not soft and pliable like some of them. Okay, so we're going to put a little glue dot on the back of that. And there we go. And that is ready. There's a tomato seed. I was cutting up some tomatoes, making some goulash, and don't you know, I decided I'm going to make some goulash while I have fresh tomatoes. I love that stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our tag. I just used a narrow strip. I think that might be a 1/2 inch. And stamped hello on there. I got that a little high, but I'm going to go with it. Like to try to get it right in the middle, but that didn't happen. So we're going to cut off straight on this side and then just a little slant over here. And then I put a gem on there, the black matte dots, and I'm going to grab one of these at the bottom. It's the smaller one. I'm going to put it right there. For this, for gluing this down, I used the Tombow because of the Hive embossing folder, and I just had it hang out over the edge a bit. Okay, so now what we've all been waiting for, we're going to show you how we made that bumblebee. Okay, so we're punching the ladybug body out of black. And then, let's see here. Okay, for his bottom butt part, I punched a piece out of a straight along the edge for his stripes. I just took bites out. Okay, and you might have to cut more than 2 bites to get the sizing correct. It won't matter if it's too long, but you may not want it too short. Okay, so I'm gonna put his butt on there. Now, there are different ways of doing this bumblebee. I have seen people cut the body out of a striped paper, black and white stripe, and then color the white part with yellow. That works. Or just color a section of the paper and then punch it out. Okay, we are going to have a little problemo right there. And there we go. And I'm happy with that. I'm sure that bees aren't perfect, and I'm not either. So the last thing we're going to do is put on his wing. Now, I cut that out of the ladybug wings, and I punched that out of vellum. And you can do this a couple different ways. I used a little bit of glue on mine, and I almost put those on upside down. Or you can use a glue dot. You just want something that isn't going to show a whole lot. Okay, and so then I put him down here. I need some glue again. I put him down with a little glue. And he can go wherever you would like and heading which direction. I think I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so that's our 3 cards. Thank you all for coming, for watching, for getting kits. Next month, our class is going to be October 11th and the 13th. And it's gorgeous out there today, so get outside and enjoy it. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.